reflected from the patch. It brings us to a balanced state. We wear the patches every single day because every day that we wear them, the patches and the benefits compound, and they do start working from day one. Now, the general recommendation is that we wear them for 1 month for every decade that we have been alive to start. And in terms of sharing our testimonials, we always like to ask not to use any diagnosis names. So if it ends in an itis, don't use that name, but use the symptoms instead. Did you have pain? Did you have decreased mobility? Use the symptoms and don't use the diagnosis names. Tell us what patches you used and what you felt and what you benefited from the patch technology, because how you feel now is what we love to celebrate. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for being with us and sharing your I wanted to say amusing, abusing a baby. I like all these words jumped into my head. So thank you for sharing your amazing stories. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, that was amazing. Thank you very much, Dr. Annabelle. And so now we're going to move over to having everybody share your experiences. We love to have that happen, and we're going to just raise your hand and you come in and just share. I know some people. I don't know why you're spotlighted, Dr. Annabelle. It's it's like keeps keeping you up there. I'm trying to like take you off. It's just like got a mind of its own. But we're basically moving to the point where we're going to have lots of people come in and share. Hopefully, we can take off the spotlight. We'll see what happens. Kate, go ahead.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm going to speak about something that is very ill, well, not ill, but not often mentioned, and it is a condition that happens on the skin when the skin has pressure on it. And my skin reacted like it had red, really bumped up red. It almost looked like a scar after my purse handle had been on my arm for a little while. And I got home and it was itching, it was burning, it was getting bigger and bigger. And then I remembered somebody said, Dr. Nicholas said, you could take an Eon patch and just rub it on the space. And I didn't even take the paper off. I just turned it upside down, pushed the plastic across it several times, waited and to see, and it started going down. And I just continued to do it, and I found another place on the same arm. And I tell you what, it just worked beautifully. It didn't take that long, and thank you for letting me share that.
Kate, that's amazing. Just rubbing it on the spot. So we're getting all kinds of ways to use the patches. That's a new one on me. I love it. People have talked about that in the past, but that's one of the best ones. Go ahead.
On the Doc Talk on Sunday, it was noted that Dr. Nicholas also at one point was with a patient. He was rubbing that over some blood clots, and he could see through some kind of a hookup to an instrument. He could see the blood clots inside the body releasing, and that person did not have to have surgery.
Wow.
That's
Incredible.
huge.
That's lovely. All right. Thanks very much, Kate. All right. Norma Carlozzi.
Hi, I am Norma Carlozzi from San Francisco. I am about to turn 75, been on the patches a little over a year, and I was going to a lot of doctors for some pretty severe female issues that just left me in a lot of pain. And so I was seeing doctors weekly, started the patches, and within 1 week, my blood pressure went from 156/83 down to normal, 120/60. Like when I was in my 20s, 55 years earlier. And that was just one thing. But then I noticed I had no more arrhythmia in my heart, no more speeding heart, no more feeling like I was moving into a heart attack, especially when I would go hiking or something like that. So normal heart rate. I had a 1 month to get ready for a huge 30-person sit down special dinner, catered dinner in my home. My garden was a mess. I had to replant the whole front yard, the backyard cleanup from winter mess. This was after I'd been on the patches for 1 month. And plus clean my whole house, which I hadn't had the energy to do in probably a year, deep cleaning, and then moving everything out of my kitchen so the caterers could take over the entire kitchen and make the house look nice for this event. I literally had to work 8 hours a day. I was like a garden crew as well as a, home decoration crew. It should have been
Wow.
4 people in each for a month, but I did it all myself, and I was never sore. Never sore, not for a minute. Another thing that I noticed was I had quite a sizable breast lump, and I was told to just put the X39 right there, and then put glutathione there at night. Within 6 weeks, that lump had shrunk to nothing and has not returned in this whole year since I've been on the patches. So I'm thrilled. And I was on X39 Eon, the X49, carnosine, glutathione, just about everything. I mean, well, that was a lot that I started on because I had so many things going on. My
Hey, you weren't messing around. You're going to take it out, right?
Well, yeah, because a naturopathic friend, doctor friend, got me started. And she just thought more was better. I didn't know, but I'm glad I started on all that because it gave me the strength and stamina to feel like 20 years younger, like almost immediately. And yeah, I don't feel like my age at all. And I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for these patches because
I'm grateful
probably
too.
the thing that got my health the worst was that my husband had gotten the vaccine. He almost died from the second jab. And there's a thing called shedding, whether people understand it or know about it or not, but it whacked me. It whacked my health very severely, which is why, things kind of took a nosedive. And I'm just so grateful that I don't have those issues anymore. And I have a whole new lease on life. Like I can live another 40, 50 years, no problem.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love it. Yeah, and David Schmidt and I had a really good conversation. We did a video. It's on the site, my website, where we talk about that. And there were some problems. They looked at the patches, and they seemed to help a lot of people that had problems with the vaccination. So that's good.
I want to see that. What's your website?
It's LifeWaveMichaelJaco.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Denise.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Norma. That was amazing share. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I was invited to share an old story. It's probably new for a lot of people because there's a lot of new people. Haven't shared it in a really long time, but it came up last night on Doc Talk, and we were talking about how emotional traumas affect our overall health. And I was sharing, and I didn't share the story, but I'll go over it again for the new people. But I wanted to mention that, our emotional traumas, everybody has heard that, stress affects your health. Well, I mean, what does that mean? And then what do you do about it, right? Because we're like, let's get real. We're on this side of heaven. Our stress is always going to be there. So for us, when we're working with clients that have emotional traumas, there are some techniques to use. But sometimes those emotional traumas are so deep, and it really does affect your health. So talking about the PTSD with people that have had severe traumas. So both of my children were at the Las Vegas shooting, and it was very traumatic. It was very, very difficult to help them overcome their trauma from that. And during the shooting, my children managed to get into the bed of a truck, and they called me, and I didn't know, I had no idea anything was going on. I was asleep, and I saw the phone ring, and I thought, oh, they're going to let me know they're going to be on their way home. And what I heard on the other line was not that. So basically, my son said, "Mom, I know you don't understand what's going on, but I need you to get on your knees and I need you to start praying." And then they started to describe everything that they were going through and what they had seen. And I was just, I didn't even know. I was thinking that I was just there for them, right? So I'm talking with them and I'm praying with them. And my son says to me, "Mom, we can't stay here. We have to keep running." And I was devastated, to think, my 2 children are going to have to go back out into that. And, the fear of not knowing if I was going to hear one of my children be murdered, or if I was going to hear one of my children have to see their sibling. It was a very traumatic experience. So how it turned out was I ended up staying on the phone with them for 20 minutes while they ran all the way to the airport, where they were greeted by airport staff. And so, luckily for all of us, what a blessing, they made it out alive. But the trauma of the whole experience, what they saw other people not make it. They saw bullets hitting at their feet while they were running. It was very, very, very traumatic. And one of the things that I didn't realize was that I also had developed PTSD through that experience. So what would happen is every time the children would have an episode, we called it an episode, where they were just frantic, or, they just needed to talk about it. I would help them help them through it. Right. But what was happening is every time I would get off the phone with them, then I would have panic attacks, and I couldn't sleep, and I would just be frantic inside, and it would affect my health, like my performance through the rest of the day. Sometimes for days, it would just take me out. And I was using the X39 for about 6 weeks when I realized that I wasn't having those same responses in my body anymore. I could still feel about it. I could cry if I needed to, but it wasn't taking me out like it was. So I then realized my kids aren't the only ones that have PTSD. I do too, from the whole thing, And so one of the things I wanted to kind of emphasize for the listeners today is that one of the things that it says that happens when you start using the X39 is that you kind of start having this sense of well-being. Well, I'm going to tell you that for me, it was way more than that. I didn't just have a sense of well-being. I stopped having these traumatic experiences in my being. And I know that I've helped a lot of other people now, people that I've had some Vietnam vets that, they stopped having the severe reactions that they were having. I had one vet that he had such terrible nightmares when he came home that his body just shut down to the point where he would not even dream anymore. And when he started using the X39, he started having dreams. He called me, a week or 2 later, and he's like, "I'm dreaming again, and they're beautiful dreams. I'm not having nightmares anymore, and I'm able to experience the joy of life that I had not experienced since being in Vietnam." So I just kind of wanted to let people know that it's more than just physical healing, but our physical healing is part of our emotional healing. So for some people, they're like, "Oh, I don't really have a lot of things going on physically." Well, we all have emotional traumas. They might not be like that, but everybody has a story, right? So if those things are prohibiting you from living your best life, just think about how much better life can be when you have a sense of well-being and calm and able to help others through experiences or things that they need help with without it shutting you down. So I just wanted to share that with the new listeners and give them a little bit of hope and encouragement.
That's beautiful. Thanks, Denise. Very good insights. And I've been through some trauma recently myself, and I feel the patches have helped me tremendously too. So thanks for sharing that. Joanne.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? Hi, everybody. Just want to, I'm on again. It's always something. I just want to give everybody an update. I don't know when I had my fall. I'll try to be really careful. In the beginning of March, I went through a lot of trauma. There was a lot. And of course, the patches Everybody saw the pictures, and I encourage people, if you have something and you can get a picture of it, if you are someone who wants to try to help other people, pictures make a difference. They really do. So in 7 days, it was amazing. I used the LifeWave patch, and I had been on X39 starting in August of last year, and then I added X49. So when this trauma hit, I was amazed that I didn't break anything. It was the craziest thing because I face planted. I was unconscious. So anyway, the shorter story is I had to go for a follow-up. So I went to a neurologist today, and I brought my pictures, and I explained to him, I wanted him to see my face so that he knew what I was dealing with, to try to help me to see how I was healing. Well, when he saw the pictures, he said, wow, like you really, you face planted, and I said, well, this is 7 days. And his eyes were huge. And then he started to examine me, and we were looking at, I had, I hope I can say this, a blood clot under my skin. So it was pretty large. So when that all happened, I was using X39, I was rotating. I was using Eon, I was using Alvita. And I believe that is what transformed it in 7 days. I mean, it was gone. That doesn't happen. But anyway, so we looked at it. We were talking about it. We talked about the clot that is no longer there. He examined me, said, look, you're good. And I said, thank you, God. Thank you, God. But anyway, so as we were talking, he asked me about the patches because they're on the pictures. And I said, well, there's this company called LifeWave. And I said, you might be interested in looking at it. This is, I believe, which helped my body to heal as quickly as it did. And he said he had heard about it. And in that process, I said to him, well, he said, how did you get started? And I said, well, I had been dealing, I'll be careful. I had been dealing with pain in my ankles. My feet were numb. They were probably numb up into my kneecaps, and nothing else helped. And I said, what did I have to lose? It took me 6 weeks to get rid of that. His eyeballs were like, what? So at the end of all this, I said to him, I gave him something to look at, and I said, he said, I'll be in touch. And I said, okay, great. But the reason that I'm talking about this is because I believe that as we're helping people, we don't realize where our body started and where it goes. And I really, really encourage people and they will get results. There is nobody in my mind that will not get results. If they are consistent, everyone's different. Their body will transform. They will get it. But if you remember to do this and to take pictures, pictures speak a volume. So I hope that helps. I'm just so grateful, that I am where I am in 2.5 months. It from what I hear, it shouldn't have happened. It should have been, 6 months. So anyway, that's just the value of the patches. And I hope that helps everybody. And thank you for allowing me to share.
Yeah. Thanks, Joanne. That's great. Great share. Thank you. Roxanne.
I love Joanne. She's great. So, okay. I have my hand raised for actually Michelle Brunk. And then after Michelle will be Richard Murray, please.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I was talking with Roxanne. She has a picture of my husband who had a heart attack 2 years ago, and it was pretty serious, lots of complications, but he was extremely overweight, and Roxanne has the pictures to show. He used to work out a lot. No longer can he work out, but he was getting better and better. And then in December, we started with X39 every day. And all of a sudden, the weight just started really, really coming off. And he's doing really good. He went back for his most recent blood work, and the doctor was so surprised. He said it's almost, he's 66 years old. It's like a 40-year-old, the test results. And he
Wow.
was a little perplexed by it, like, well, what's going on? So my husband says, well, my wife has me on a routine. He goes, well, what do you mean? And he didn't really go into anything, deep, but he just said, she's just making sure that I'm going to be okay. And now the last test said that the medications were like up to 150 milligrams. And since we've been on X39, it's gone down to 25 milligrams. And the next time he'll be probably going off the medications. So it's pretty amazing. He did X39, and every couple of nights I'd give him the Eon in the night. But now that he's lifting, I think about 40 pounds, doing a little bit of weightlifting, I'm going to start the X49. I figured I just let it gradually go to the 2. And he's just, it's a turnaround. Unbelievable. So we're very happy about that.
Very good, Michelle. Thanks for sharing. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Love the pictures. Carla.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. I haven't been here for a while, but I wanted to share. I was talking to Roxanne and I was telling her that I was over in Florence, and I think I walk like 15,000 steps a day, and I was like, no pain. And the other girls were like, oh, I can't do it. I'm tired. I got to rest. And I'm like, no, 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 we can keep going. But one of the ladies on the trip had had some surgery the year before, and she was limping and actually couldn't walk and didn't go with us one day. And finally I said, I have something that I might have that could help you. Well, I wound up putting X39 and Eon on her. And then within a couple hours, she was walking right with us and was able to keep up. So, and there's a lot of truth to everything everybody says. And I'll reiterate the story that I told you a couple months ago, is that my cousin had a fatty liver for years. And he's been back to the doctor 3 times and still has no fatty liver. And he's been using X39.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, Dr. Pena said that doesn't happen. But I said, well, it does. So
It
he just
did.
said that proof that it does work.
Very good.
So
thanks, Carla.
we'll be back.
Suzanne.
Hello, everybody. Today I want to review a little bit more about the retracing that's happening. Oh gosh, hold on, sorry, my phone. We spoke last week, and Michael, you recommended the Eon and glutathione, where I'm having the issue, which is the tibialis anterior, where it articulates to the condyle, and the tibial nerve. Like, the joint itself is completely fine, but if anything brushed that area, like shooting sharp pain. And I was using the LifeWave, and I was like, like, it wasn't pain standing on it, but like I said, anything that brushed it in the LifeWave really wasn't doing it. So when I switched to the Eon and the glutathione, like right on that area, made all the difference in the world, and it's almost healed now. And I'm like so grateful, because it's a big area, like my whole right side is retracing. But I was really impressed with the specific application, of using specific patches, for certain areas, or situations, so.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm glad you got good results from that.
Yeah,
me
too. Me too. Very good.
I bet.
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks.
So thank you. Bye.
Lynn.
Hey, Michael.
Hey.
So I have 3 in general, and I'm just super excited and happy about this tonight. So 2 of them I've had two customers that are now friends have their blood pressure go down on the X39 alone, one after 3 months and one after 5 months. And then the second is I heard from a friend today, and she was going to be scheduled for hernia surgery. And I was talking to her about wallpapering. Well, she's not going to have hernia surgery now because of the patches. So
Wow.
I think that's amazing. And then to me, the most astounding of all, I shared in our Wednesday manager training, Michael, about I had a woman reach out to me, and she has a niece that's in her 30s. And the morning before my first call with her, God put in my mind that song, and Jen, you might have to break in to pronounce it correctly, but it was an old Mr. song called Kyrie Eleison, which stands for God has.
Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's Greek for Lord have mercy. And I got this song in my head before I even talked to the aunt the first time. And part of the song is, Lord have mercy down the road that I must travel. Lord have mercy through the darkness of the night. Lord have mercy where I'm going, will you follow? Lord have mercy on a highway in the light. And our patches are light. So I got to meet with her niece a few days ago. And the situation is she has 3 young kids, and she has this horrendous disease where she is in traumatic level pain 24/7. And she's in her 30s. And all the doctors know she has tumors wrapped around her nerves throughout her body, causing this excruciating off the chart pain. All the doctors know was to cut off one of her legs and start there. She doesn't want that. So I had the privilege of first meeting her and doing the stacking of the X39. And she sat there and she goes, I feel it. She started having relief from all that pain. So she's on the 39, the X39, the X49, the carnosine, and the Eon. So she's on patches 24/7, and she's having relief from the pain. And knowing where she was at, and she's got a long road to hoe, but she wants to do this naturally, and she doesn't want all the pain meds. She doesn't want any amputations. And it just really warmed my heart to watch her start getting relief from that level of pain, especially because she has so many children. So I just think that's beautiful because God is in the patches.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you have any more to share?
That's it. That was it.
That's it?
I actually have about 10 more, but I didn't want to
yeah, okay. Well, if we get a little dry spell, you can come back and share some more things.
I'm glad. I've got a 10. Okay. Thanks.
I know you always have a lot. Thanks, Lynn. Roxanne.
Okay, I have my hand up for Richard Murray.
Okay.
Richard, you'll have to unmute.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Oh, cool.
Hey, welcome, Richard. Good to see you here.
Who said that?
Tracy Joe did.
Oh, hey, Tracy. Listen, I got to tell you, I'm impressed with the patches. I would just run out of energy because, I mean, I sit so much because of my work. And when I was at a conference with you, Michael, and Tracy, I'd get up and I'd walk around, but my feet would hurt. And I'm going, why are my feet hurting? And it seems to be something like fibromyalgia or something like that. And I started putting the patches on and using the variety of them. I've been reading the material and using the variety of them. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the difference I feel. I had to do some very strenuous work to just because I've been gone so much. I had to clean up the yard, clean up everything. And first thing I did was we took off my watch, put on a patch, had my root wellness drink, and went to work. And I was done with everything, just one after the other, just got meticulously, got everything done, took breaks in between, you know, had some tea, just sat back, but I got through the whole day with no pain. And I got through the whole day and got it done. And that was impressive to me. And now I had to go to another conference, and it's at the convention center in Orlando. And I had to walk a mile just from parking to the convention. And it was just incredible. My feet were killing me. And I got some of these grounded footwear, that Special Forces footwear. And my God, a big difference. But I'm hoping that the patches are going to help me with this, the fibromyalgia. I'm gonna take it down. I'm gonna take it all the way down. I know this works. I know it's working. I just am learning the difference between what to use and where. And thank God to Roxanne. She's been a great help to me, and you too. And I gotta tell you, I'm loving it. I take the root wellness and the patches and combined together. It's like massive work on my body. I just had my blood work done. It's a special test that's done on every single aspect, that's done by naturopaths. And I can't wait to get my results, because the last time I got my results from it, I was doing the patch, and it was just phenomenal. My doctor said nobody, not even a 50-year-old's got this good of blood work.
Wow.
Even though I smoke cigars, I enjoy a good cigar, and I'm just impressed, and I want to learn more, but I want to do more. I want to do more to help my body, because I'm going to be around for a while.
That's right. You got to share that work. You got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Got to move around, share it. That's good.
Yeah. Got a lot of work to do, and I got a lot to get done, and I want to be healthy all the way through the very end, so I can accomplish what I need to accomplish, because I'm not here for me. I'm here for everybody else.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, thanks, Richard. That's a great share. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Roxanne, for all your help.
Lorinda.
Well, hello, Michael.
Hello.
So I'm glad to be here and share more wonderful stuff about the patches. And some of you might remember my testimony from April 28th. Sorry, when I almost died and had angry cells in my stomach and lost 99 pounds. But the good news is I started on X39 back on April 12th and had a really good reaction really quick. And just about 2 weeks ago, I started on the X49 as well, and I put it below my navel and the X39 at the back of my neck. It covers 6 protocols, and that's bone health and an EMF shield and hair health and muscle building and nail strengthening and scar smoothing. Well, I've had kind of some of all of that, but I have gained, as of weighing this morning, 17 pounds back, and I have no fat on me. It's all muscle.
Yay.
We can see it in my body. And so that's just really exciting, because I look pretty bad. Some of you might remember the pictures that Jen shared. And if not, you might want to look at it, because that was kind of amazing story. And I looked really bad. And I'm already looking back almost like myself again. Not quite all the way, but my face don't look like it did when I was really bad off. And it's at least half better. And so it's just been really encouraging, and I give all the credit to the patches, 100%. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it saved my life. I had one foot in the grave and part of the other one. I was close to death. And I'm doing so well. I'm up walking around. No more wheelchair, no more potty chair by the bed. It's just been so wonderful. I can't be any more grateful than I am. So
wow, that's amazing. Yeah, we'll have to get some as you progress, we'll have to get some before and after pictures. It's great.
Oh, yes, we can do that. I need to get some new pictures now, but yeah, it's a big difference. So
yeah, it sounds amazing. So happy for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lorinda.
Oh, you're
Dr.
welcome.
Annabelle.
Hi again. So these are fantastic, amazing, powerful stories because this technology is helping people to regain their quality of life. But also for those of us who feel like there was nothing ever wrong with us, to have that ability to use something and to build those reserves so that if anything should come up, like what happened with poor Joanne, she had those reserves to help her and then to help her recover. So most certainly, all of us, whether we think we have something wrong with us or is something going on, these patches are amazing to have on board forever and ever. I love to share this story about my mom's best friend. So she had started on the patches March of last year, and she was loving it because she had a lot of chronic leg pain. And shortly after, I want to say 4 to 6 weeks after starting the technology, she was able to walk without pain. She was able to do her daily activities, and she ramped up her activity levels back to where she wanted them to be. And she has lost weight. So she is loving the patches. But she most recently told me a really fun story this weekend. She had tickets for a Shakira concert, and so she had placed the X39 patches, one on each hip, because she knew it was going to be a lot of walking. And she's texting me as she's doing her things in the concert. She's like, I just walked and I was able to walk and I'm not having any pain and I am having such a wonderful time. I haven't even sat down yet. I'm dancing and loving this. And it was just such a joy to hear how she's enjoying life and not have to think about, oh, I can't walk there, or I can't go there because I can't handle the pain. And it was as if, it was my own mom telling me she's having fun at a concert, which would be cool for me to see one day. But I absolutely love that ability to be able to have help somebody so that their quality of life is way better than it was prior to the patches.
Yeah, that's incredible. Beautiful. Good to see those stories and see them in action. Love it. Thanks, Dr. Annabelle. Mother Swami.
Hi. Thank you so much, first of all, Michael, for everything you do and everybody else, and Lynn, and thank you for the LifeWave patches. My daughter and I started using the patches maybe a bit over a month ago. And due to numerous experiences, I've been extremely skeptical and not trusting anything or anyone. Still don't really. But I can say this is certainly a lifesaver. This is incredible. It's I could go on for a long time, but my daughter, who I met when she was 7 and who is a survivor of the worst things, sorry. We've been through a lot. We've been hunted down and all that stuff. This is the first thing that she's able to use daily, that she can stick with. And she is able to process extreme trauma in a way like never before. So there's stability happening in a certain way. I mean, I don't want to exaggerate. There's a long way to go. But there are things coming out that she wasn't able to do even when she felt safe enough to. So it creates, it seems to me, like a certain physical, mental, emotional stability in her where she's able to allow herself or her system, mind, body, soul system, to really process things like never before. And that's just, that's a gift from God, literally. There's other things like, unfortunately, we had some bad experience with a dentist who, due to drilling the same filling again and again of my daughter's tooth, ruined the tooth. That caused inflammation of the nerve of the tooth, and the only remedy would be extraction or root canal, which is not an option for me. And both are really not an option for my daughter, especially not my daughter. So that was tough for me to see that might be the only option if the pain got so bad that she needed the tooth extracted. And I was trying to figure out how that would even be possible, considering what she's been through. Long story short, it's now, and Lynn, thank you for the advice. She's now allowing the stacking. It wasn't easy to allow her the stacking, but with the X39 and Eon stacked on top of each other every night, the pain is so far down that she can chew on the tooth, which was impossible. Her pain between 0, nothing, and 10 through the roof had been beyond 10 trying to chew. Now she can actually bite on it, and it will be a 4 or 5. Throughout the day, it's a 0. So the pain has extremely gone down, and I think that's it. The tooth will be saved. And this is over a few weeks, like a month and change. For myself, I've certainly gone through the worst burnouts possible, I think. Experienced the limits of everything pretty much. And my nervous system is coming back. I also had a jab injury. I was aware I would have never gotten that, but because of our situation, I had to debate with myself what's smarter and praying. So without going into details, I figured, okay, we will pray that we'll maybe just need it once. And sure enough, we only just needed it once because we had such adverse reactions that we immediately got medically exempt. I needed to see a cardiologist and a physical therapist for almost a year. And this is years ago. However, now, up until the patch, personally, I kept having heart palpitations and arrhythmia, also on EEGs. And last time I checked with a doctor, with the EEG, they gave me a Holter again, and then they wanted to do more tests. And I was like, oh, forget it. It's just the same story as always. It's gone. Since I used the patches, that's gone. I have no more heart palpitations, arrhythmia. Don't feel that. It used to be in the calming, like when I was laying down or relaxing, not in exercise, but the autonomous nervous system. So it's gone. And detox, we both have experienced, and I'm sure, I mean, we did supplemental detox and we live pretty healthy otherwise, as far as nutrition and stuff. So we did what we could with getting rid of whatever was in our systems, but the detox with the patches, specifically for me, I use X39 Eon and glutathione now. My daughter uses X39 and Eon, and we've both tried LifeWave off and on, but personally, I actually feel that, for example, my lower back pain is relieved faster with X39 than LifeWave, interestingly enough. And so for me personally, the detox continues. It's much less now. Like we both, my daughter and I, had heavy, sticky, yucky, gluey sweat for like 4 nights. And the detox continues for me, gentler, but it's still there. It's just my body getting rid of whatever it can everywhere possible. And my skin, which I'm not into what I look like. It doesn't really matter to me what I look like physically too much, but my skin has certainly become younger already and firmer, more elastic, feels lighter, feels like I can just use my skin with the detox. It's easier to get stuff out of the pores. So it's amazing. I'm very grateful, very, very grateful. And I do know that prayer works. I don't know if I can share something very quickly that happened to me today as I was praying when I was driving. I was going to an appointment for a chiropractor appointment for myself, and I was really looking forward to that, because that's another thing that with the patches, I feel more able that I can actually take care of myself and don't have to constantly be there for my daughter, and she's better. So we're both better. I can finally also care for me a little. I was really thankful, grateful, praying, or in my mind, my heart, saying thank you. And certainly also to the patches and LifeWave and all the wonderful people here, like you, Michael, and Lynn, and I don't know everybody else yet, but thank you. And a car drives right in front of me, and I'm saying thank you and I'm so grateful. Translate it, not literally because it's not verbal what I was saying, but you understand what I was saying. And amongst those things, I said also, or expressed also, just we really came over the curve. We really made it, right? We really are healthy now, right? We're protected, right? We're like safe. It's all great. And as I say that or express it, feel it, know it, this car, a white SUV, drives in front, but then to the right in front. So I'm thinking future and present. It's all coming together. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'm sure you do. I know you do. And I don't know if it's okay to say a license plate number here. Is that okay?
Sure.
The license plate number was ISQ174.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, and very amazing. So
Yeah.
that's a great story, boy. You guys have had a lot of success. Lynn, I'm glad Lynn's working with you. Gosh, it's fabulous.
It only goes with God. This
Yeah.
is not this. You can't plan that.
It's amazing. Well, thank you, Mother Swami. That was a beautiful story. Look forward to your future stories, man. You have such great success. I'm sure you're going to have more in the future. Dr. Cathy. So that's perfect. That following that with her daughter had a little problems with the teeth. Do you have anything to add?
Oh, hello, LifeWave community. I just wanted to go ahead and report on a success we had today. I had spoken to someone last week, and she wasn't feeling very good. She had a sinus infection, so that she had gotten it from her daughter. So I know that I was going to be seeing her today. So apparently she felt a little better today to go ahead and meet me at the clinic that I work at. But I decided to go ahead and offer her, a patch to see if we could make her feel better. And after probably about an hour, she texted me back and said that she actually felt more clear-headed and the sinus pressure had reduced. So we had a good result. So, and that was just a matter of, I don't know, maybe an hour since I placed the patch on her. So I just wanted to let you know that we can get small miracles. And I love the stories that I've been listening to, prior here. We've got some really great results that people have been having.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Thanks. Shellie.
Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone. I know I haven't shared in a while. I have a quick little share. About a week ago, I started using SP6 and I hadn't tried it, and I've heard so many good things about it. I'm actually going through the change that women go through a certain part of their life. And I was having really bad hot flashes, irritability, mood changes, all that fun stuff. My poor husband, he's so patient with me. So I did try the SP6 a week ago. And today at work, I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't have a hot flash today. But I mean, it was so bad, it would come up the back of my neck and I could just feel the heat radiating and my face would turn red. Probably is now because I'm a little nervous and shy, but yeah, what a difference. And I've been on it for a week and I'm more calm today, not as irritable. I know Dr. Tom talks about that patch. It's like his favorite patch. And I thought, you know what, with the promotion, I got to try it. I'm so glad I did. So anyone that's going through that right now, definitely use the SP6. Big difference. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thanks. And I guess we don't have anybody's hands up. I think Lynn, you want to come back in and share a couple more?
Yes, I would love to. So I was just thinking about another one of my friends that her husband started on the X39, and the very first day he had this amazing energy boost, and he's in his 60s. And day 2, he had another, more energy. And he was super happy. She was more happy because she told me that now her honeydew list he was getting through. So they were both pretty excited about that. And then I keep getting more stories from the energy just from the X39. So I had someone else who started on it. And within, I want to say 2 or 3 days, she felt more positive well-being, and she felt a lot more energy, and she felt just a lot more calm in handling and dealing with other people. So I thought that was amazing too. And pretty quick results. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Chris.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Sorry I'm driving, but heading to work. So I had a coworker see me the other day, and he saw me once a couple months ago. And just the other day, he looks at me, turns away, looks at me again and says, "You look younger." And he's like, "You look younger in the way that when I saw you 20 something years ago, this is what you look like." And I was like, wow, really? And like, I always get like, I look young and everything for my age. I'm 46 years old and I look young. But when he said that, I was like, wow, that is incredible. And I'm like, so I kind of told him like what I'm doing, and he's like, all right, I'll have to look into it. So see where that goes.
Very good. Yeah. So that's cool. Someone that has been around you for a long time and still, sees the change in you. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yep, sure is. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Anybody else have any shares? Just raise your hand and we'll get a couple more shares here if we can. Rick.
Michael, I can't raise my hand, so when you're ready, I have one too.
Okay, we'll get you next. We'll do Rick, and then we'll go to you, Jen.
It's fine.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Yesterday my son was playing one of his games, and he took his finger and whacked it on a counter on the little side table by the couch, and it instantly, like a 2-inch line across his finger, just turned blue right away. And just crying, not happy. So right away, I took 2 Eons and an X39, put them right on his hand. He sat there with a bag of ice, and it swelled up like pretty, like within 2-3 minutes, it was all swollen. By the time he went to bed that night, the swelling had gone way down. He could bend his finger again. He could move it again. And it's very little coloring today. So it's like, okay, that's all right. Like, we were debating on whether or not we had to go see if it was broken because he hit it so hard.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. It's always good to have that little med kit for the kiddies, and some people use them for the adults too. Thanks, Rick. Great share. All right, Jen, go ahead.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm driving, so obviously I don't know how people are able to do the drive and do the check-in, press the button. So thank you, Michael, for taking this. At this convention I was at, I shared a lot about the long-term usage of the patches, and I tell everybody about the story of when I went out on the boat with you and Tracy Joe and 12 of your managers, directors. And then I always, as a child, and whenever I went on a boat on the ocean, would get very sick, very, very sick. And after 2 years, I realized I wasn't getting airsick on airplane flights that would go up and down, but I would always have in my purse, I used to have the bands, the wristbands that people would wear and stuff, and I finally stopped bringing them. So when Michael and Tracy Joe to go out with Harris on his boat, I went, I'm going to just take a bottle of sparkling water and see how it goes. And 5 hours later, the waves were horrendous that day. They were up and down. It was sunny, but there was a lot of waves and boats back and forth. I ended up getting to the end of the ride and looking at my, you don't get sick, but me, I always got sick. I don't get sick anymore. My whole inner ear is healed. After 2 years, that happened. So I want to tell everybody. Somebody today was said, well, you know, they've used it for months. They're 60 years old. They should at least use it for every 10 years of life. And I'm saying, you know, do that. It's going on inside your body. And I know my body has changed in a lot of different ways. And, you know, anyway, enough said.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Jen. And Patty, I saw you raise your hand. If you want to do one quick one, that'd be great.
Oh, real quick. So I had to say, sad news, we lost our puppy Jackson. He was going to be 16, but I have to say, because of the patches, about a year and a half ago, you know, he got really sick. We started really using the different patches, and he made it another year and a half. So sad to see him go. The house is just not the same, but we were grateful that we got another probably year and a half with him. And I know it's from the patches.
Aw, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Patty.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for your loss. Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
All right, everybody. That's our LifeWave for today. Thanks for everybody that shared. We appreciate all your shares, and it's absolutely amazing. I get excited every time I'm going to do this show, or go over to Connie's and listen to her Sunday show. There's so many great miracles are out there. So if you want to unmute and say goodnight, we'll see you guys next time.
Night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good night. Have a great
Thank
week.
you,
everyone.
everybody. Great story.
Night, everyone.
Great stories.
Thanks for all the great shares.
Share the light.
Thank you, Roxanne, for helping out.
Oh, my
Yep,
pleasure.
couldn't do without you, Roxy.